Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your August soul session. I am Marlo. If you're new and if you're family, welcome back, my friend. And of course, if you resonate with this message, be sure to, tickle the like button because she's kinky and into that sort of thing. I hope you didn't notice I just kicked the camera. You know what I'm saying? And the link for the extended of this reading will be in the description box below this video, where we are going to cover the 15th through the end of the month. And I still have not figured out if there's like 30 or 31 days, however many days there are in August. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, the first card out that we have for you guys, Taurus. Okay. All right. Is the Ten of Swords. Okay. So you guys are coming into the month of oh my God, what just happened to my mouth? I was trying to say you were coming into the month of August, but it was like the month of I'm so sorry, Taurus. Please don't judge me. I have no explanation as to why my mouth is just not working with me today. But anywho, you're coming into the month of August. Potentially, I don't want to necessarily say, because I mean, this is something y'all would already know, but it's giving me, rock bottom vibes. You know what I'm saying? There's hints of feeling betrayed, being stabbed in the back, being screwed over, taken advantage of countless times. But the thing that I think is lit about this, and I know that sounds cray-cray, but double Taurus here. You're in good company. But the thing I think is lit about this is I feel this has reached a fever pitch, right? So you guys are in a place to where there's been a pattern of things that have consistently happened, either with one particular person, a group of people, and my guides just said self-betrayal. Okay, that's what's hot in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So there's been a pattern of I don't even know why I want to use the word. It's like a pathology. You know what I'm saying? It's like a consistent thing that keeps happening, whether it's with one person, one group of people, or several different people, but the wound is the same each time. And the reason why I say it's lit is because I feel Taurus has you've reached the end of your rope. That's why I say I don't feel rock bottom would be the proper term, because I feel with rock bottom, it's like, even though, in order for you to have your whole phoenix rising from the ashes type of moment, you do have to hit rock bottom. But I don't feel intuitively that there's a level of being discouraged, right? Like, I don't feel like you guys are like down and you're like, what's next, right? It's like, it's almost like a healthy rage that I feel, if that makes sense. Now, the next card that we have, and of course, you guys know whenever stuff comes out sideways for me, it's like one way or the other. You know what I'm saying? Depending on, it's like a free will type of thing. So, depending on the decision that you make with this, right, we can either have the Four of Coins upright, or we can have it in the reverse, right? Now, what we're talking about with the Four of Coins here is emotional availability or emotional unavailability. It's like hard-heartedness, being closed off. Okay. Look, y'all, look. So this is not accidental that this happened. And now we start school. Literally, as I'm like saying, I'm trying to get words out, my guys are like, turn around. And I'm like, what? And I forgot the soul session I recorded yesterday, the last one that I did. Who was it? It was Cancer. In their extended, I was using the after tarot like illustratively. You know what I'm saying? And before I started this today, I saw the two cards that I used, and like something told me, like, don't put them back in the deck. And I was like, it's not like I'm gonna use it again. And here we are. Right? So this card in the after tarot is a perfect illustration of what it is that we're talking about here, right? So in some sense or another, if we're thinking about Four of Coins in the reverse, right? So you use your free will and you decide, like, I've been backstabbed so many times. I'm so sick of it. Like, I'm over it. I ain't got time for people, like, bumping people, whoopty whoopty woo, right? That would put you into Four of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay, I don't need to take that one. I was like, I was like, I want to take the bottom of the deck, and it's like, I'm like, oh, okay, my bad. But anywho, So sorry to interrupt you guys while you're listening to the show, but I wanted to tell you guys about our new partnership with BetterHelp. If you haven't heard of them, it's an online resource in which you can find your very own friendly local neighborhood therapist, no matter where you are in the world. You sign up, and within 24 hours, they match you with a therapist that's right for you. And you can talk to your counselor every week via phone or video chat. You can also text them between sessions. If you or someone you know has been considering therapy, get started today with BetterHelp. Now let's get back to the show. But if you guys were to elect to let this consistent disappointment to like get you down, and this is very similar to what I said to Cancer as well as Capricorn, it's the perspective of life do you believe that life is happening to you, or do you believe that life is happening for you, right? If we were to look at these things that you guys have been through consistently, right? And you were to elect to close off your heart chakra, because that's literally what we're seeing with this card. That's why I freaking love this deck. It's like whenever we've been taken advantage of or backstabbed, betrayed, things of the sort, or there's consistent disappointments in our life, it puts us into like a hoardy kind of energy, right? So now we're operating out of fear, right? It's a fear of loss. It's a fear of repeating the past, going through the same thing that we've been through before. Okay, I'm sorry, it lost focus. So what inadvertently ends up happening, what it is that we have, like what we're holding on to, now we're hoarding it, right? We're not, and this is like me speaking in 3D sense, right? It's like what we're holding on to, we're literally hoarding it, whether it's money, it's our energy, it's our time, it's our affection, right? We're not opening up with other people or to other people out of fear, right? So what this does ultimately is it kills the ebb and flow of our heart chakra, very literally. And all of you guys who are members over on my network, our sanctuary, you guys know for the Pretty Mystic Weekly, that was like the main theme, like child look. It was like a whole thing, child. It was like a whole revival that we had anyway. But I also shared a heart chakra meditation, like a heart opening meditation with everyone, which you'll see that on the timeline. When you go on the network, it should be on the timeline. If you don't see it on the timeline, just go to topics and click Reiki and energy healing, and it'll be like the first one up there. But all of this came up in the weekly for the last week of July, right? And this is something that Spirit told me coming into July that the collective is going to be working on, which is getting the heart chakra back into balance, right? Because a lot of times we either fall into it being overactive or underactive, which is why I see with this Four of Coins coming out sideways. This is speaking to the maintaining of a status quo, if you will, but not really so much in an external sense. I do feel like that could be relevant for some people, because how I can see that this would work is if we're maintaining a status quo in, again, the very 3D sense, and I'm going to get back to this in a second, but if we're maintaining a status quo in a very 3D sense, right? That means that there's a standard that was set for us by someone outside of ourselves. And I like to call those should, oughts, and supposed tos, right? But the reason why this kind of betrayal, whether it's self-betrayal, this backstabbing type of thing keeps happening is because this is like a consistent wake-up call from the divine, like saying, yo, because I mean, even if you look at, oh, dude, he's postured. You see what I'm saying? He's postured. So in so many words, he's in a full oppressed, submissive position. He's at the will, right, of other people's experiences. Now, with this Four of Coins speaking to status quo and that status quo being maintained, right, it's because one feels they should, ought, or supposed to posture themselves or lower themselves or prostrate themselves, if you will, to a certain person, a way of being, behavioral pattern, job, whatever the case, right? But all of these swords in your back, right, have been happening to say, hey, Taurus, like newsflash, this is not how we're supposed to be. This is not where you're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're out of alignment. You know what I'm saying? And not saying that in like a negative sense, but meaning in the sense that how you've been showing up. And this is reminding me of a reading I did like back in 2017, 2018. And many of you who've been with me since then remember it was like a whole open vision I had of Taurus as like a contortionist. You know what I'm saying? So it's like bending, it's like almost like Cirque du Soleil, like bending and molding yourself to fit into all of these different boxes. And after all of these people, like all of these, 10 swords did this to you, you're unrecognizable. You know what I'm saying? This is almost similar to how I saw the person, but they literally, as opposed to them just being on their knees, they literally had their leg up around their back and like around their neck. It was the creepiest thing. But that's symbolic of making modifications to yourself based on what other people are telling you. And that's a status quo that's been maintained up until this point. However, I feel this fever pitch with this is what's kind of snapping you out of it. Now, going back to what I was saying with this, once we get into this energy of maintaining this status quo of this less than stellar energy, posturing ourselves, self-compromising, self-betrayal, things of the sort, not living in alignment with our core values. Whenever we end up in an energy like that, right? And we self-protect and we're closing off our heart chakra, right? That by default, because our heart chakra is like the center, it's like your 0 point, if you will, right? Because you have your 3 lower chakras beneath. And child, look, come through, guides. Now look, child, I done said so many things. I teach so much about this card, but literally what my guides are showing me right now, I was about to say your 3 lower chakras, your human chakras, and my guides are literally like 3 coins. And I'm like, and the pentacles, child, and them 3 lower chakras of the human chakras talking about 3D and things. So this then just got a whole nother level deeper. Look, child, look. Okay. So what it is that you're holding on to is exactly what the root chakra, right? The sacral chakra and the solar plexus would represent, right? And it's like that's the energy that's being hoarded, right? So it's literally not a vacation. It's vacating your higher chakras, right? Like your etheric chakras, if you will, and vacating into the lower chakras. And if we were to speak about that in a metaphysical sense, right? That would be vacating Christ consciousness for sensory consciousness, right? So it's like now you end up becoming a prisoner of your own fear. Child, Taurus, how does getting so deep? They're telling me all the things. We just 2 cards in. Okay. So when you do that, because the thing that my guides just said is a scripture, the wages of sin is death. Now, mind you, sin for me, like how I interpret the word sin, because it's totally a trigger word for some people. If you want to know what sin is, the only thing that sin is error. That's all it is. And that's like what I was saying here. It's being out of alignment, right? So if Taurus, and we're not even saying if because you are, you being an aspect of God in a physical body, right? You having a purpose, you having a blueprint on your soul, you having a mission, you being here to fulfill a certain specific thing that's unique to you. You feel what I'm saying? If you're making modifications to yourself for other people, right? Or you've been consistently backstabbed and betrayed, whatever, by other people, those things were not a tax on you to tell you, oh, you're a shit human and no one loves you, right? That's not the case at all. It's like all of these have been signs of, hey, Taurus, it's like you're out of alignment with your authentic truth. So all of this stuff, it's very much like why I call 5 of Wands my Petty LaBelle card. It's like the drama, the chaos, the nitpicking, all of that stuff is happening because it's telling you that the place that you're in is not your place. It's somewhere else that you belong. You feel what I'm saying? So with this, when we cut off this hard space, now we're cutting off spirit. So we're vacating the access to all there is for, the very limited realm of the 3D where everything is in the process of dying or already dead. Hence the reason why the wages of error or the byproduct of our error of us stepping out of alignment of what's in our highest good is a proverbial death and or stagnation, which is what the Four of Pentacles speaks to. You feel what I'm saying? So the solution to this is getting back into ebb and flow, getting that heart chakra moving again, reconnecting with the divine, getting back into alignment with your authentic self. But this is why I'm not concerned. Still, we 2 cards in, child. Why do I pick all these cards? We could just do this, but anyway. But the reason why, like I said, I'm not concerned is because I feel this last sword, and this is literally like something that's happening in that last week of July. I wouldn't even say the whole first week, because of course we're looking at the first week of August. But this really feels to me like how my guides are showing it to me on a calendar. It's like it's almost like gradient. So it's like it's darker in the last week of July and it starts to lighten up towards August. So that's saying to me the brunt of this transpired in the latter part of July. But coming into August, I feel it's kind of when you reach that fever pitch where there's a sense of clarity that you all gain in reference to this, right? And it's kind of like getting on your FTS, shout out to Surrender Healer, like the fuck the shit type of mentality, where it's almost like bull in a china shop type of energy. And I like it, y'all, because, you know, raging out be a little lit sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But it's like I'm feeling it like a volcano inside of my body right now. And it's like a liberating, righteous kind of anger where it's like that's it. Like, I'm not doing this. But the thing that's important to note here, and going back to the free will element of this card, is everyone can go one or two ways. There's some of you who may be like, you've been through all of this stuff and you reach your fever pitch, and everything I was saying with this 4 of coins here, it's like you can elect to say, fuck it, I'm cutting myself off. Like, say if you have not already shut down the heart space type of thing, you can choose to do that. I would advise against it because, you know, I already told you how that pans out. Now there's others of you who already did this, right? And y'all are the ones where this volcano erupts and, like, you know, the bull goes ape shit in the china shop, because it's like you're sick of it. You're like, I'm tired, I'm done. But it's a transcendence, because it's like, this is so freaking beautiful. If we think about it as 0.0, it's like you're coming back to the heart chakra and looking at this in the context of like the temperance card, right? What I always say about temperance, it's like is not is paradigm, the Likert scale, right? Whenever we're learning lessons, we're going back and forth from the like on both sides of the Likert scale. Once you learn those lessons, that's when you come back to 0 point, the heart chakra, and you more or less deliver yourself, because you get to a point where it's like everything it is that I'm looking for is not here, and there has to be something else. So it's more or less a fire that is birthed within you to where you want to make a way out of no way, right? And that's more or less like, poof, all the stone on your heart's gone. That energy is shooting straight back up to spirit. And it's literally that. It's an ascent. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're descending in order to ascend, but through your ascension is how it is that the heart is delivered. So all of this stuff, to answer the question of, is this happening to you or for you? All of this stuff in the bigger scheme of things has always been happening for you, right? Everything. You feel what I'm saying? Because if it wasn't, there would be no way for you to get to this point, right? For you to descend in order for you to ascend. So this is like a self-deliverance is how I'm seeing it towards, which is fucking lit. Okay. Anyway, on to the rest of these cards, child. I'm just going to go ahead and turn them all over, because y'all know when I be going one by one, I just be channeling and things. We going to fool around, be here all damn day. Anybody got time for that? You know what I'm saying? So the next cards that we have the 2 of Wands in the reverse. We have the 6 of Wands in the reverse. We have the 4 of Swords in the reverse. And then we have the 5 of Coins. Yeah, dude. So this is like a transitional period you guys are going through. Child, I love this. I actually like that all of those messages came out with these 2 cards, because the first 2 weeks from the 1st to the 15th of August, you guys are going through like an epic it's almost like a baby dark night of the soul, if you will. But I want to forewarn you guys, like, don't trip. I had to say the same thing to Cancer and Capricorn, where it's like, in my opinion, no reading is ever a bad reading. And why I believe that is because there's cycles in life. You know what I'm saying? Like the wheel of fortune is always turning. And in order for good things to come in, like I tell you guys, is not is paradigm. Like when you call something into your life, the is not has to manifest before the is. But this isn't necessarily something for you to be like, oh, I got to go through more shit. You know what I'm saying? But with this Two of Wands, it's more or less a testament, like why this is that all of this is happening is because my Taurians have been thinking too small. You feel what I'm saying? It's more or less there's an expansive path that lies before Taurus that, I mean, dude, it's like me just kind of seeing it in my mind's eye and my heart chakra lighting up, child. That y'all know that's my sign, that the Holy Spirit and the building. I'm just fine, moving right along. But legit, what I'm seeing in my mind's eye, dude, it's like what lies before y'all is to where it is, wherever you sitting right now, my Taurus friend. Whether you're watching this in your living room, you're in your office, at work, just listening while you tap, and, you're looking at your phone, whatever the case, wherever it is that you are at this present moment, it's unfathomable. It would literally be unfathomable to you at the moment and in the place that you are now. What I'm seeing lies just around the bend, right? Now, why this has been happening, like I told you guys, you've been thinking too small. You got to think bigger. You feel me? So when I was saying like being out of alignment, it's like that's it. It's like you're trying to, and I'm saying this hypothetically, you're trying to be the best at this, entry level position. You're trying to be the best person at this entry level job. And it's like, nah, you're supposed to be a CEO. But if they didn't treat you so bad at that job, you would have never seen any sentiment of your self-worth or what, was possible for you. You feel what I'm saying? And that's something I totally resonate with, y'all. One day I'll tell y'all my whole life story. But anyway, but this is more or less, you had to get to this point to push you to the end of yourself. But the self that you're getting pushed to the end of isn't really who you are. It's your inauthentic self. So this is like your heart cracking open and like your higher self, your oversoul being birthed into this realm. You feel what I'm saying? So this is like labor pains, right? And of course, this goes back to self-worth and value with the Six of Wands in the reverse. And that's literally what I've been seeing so far to be the theme for the month of August. And I mean, rightfully so, we're in Leo season. That's very much like strength card kind of energy, where we're talking about self-love, like we're talking about God love, agape love, and self-love. And at the root of all of our problems, I'm not going to say everybody, but majority of humanity, the root of all of humanity's problems is one thing, and that's disconnect from God, right? The second octave of that, if I were to put that into psychological terms, shout out to Virginia Satir, it would be her theory of inherent human worthlessness, which is the source for classism, racism, sexism, like any form of discrimination. It all goes back to inherent human worthlessness, and in a spiritual sense, like the metaphysical context of that is disconnect from God, aka Four of Pentacles. Taurus, I love y'all for letting me facilitate this reading, because this is giving me so much life right now. I feel like I'm sitting with all my homegirls or like with my staff, because this is the type of conversations we be having and stuff and things, mirror affecting and macro, micro, so on and so forth. You feel what I'm saying? But anywho, but the whole theme for August is what I've been seeing is it's all going back to self-love and that original disconnect. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like trying to fuse those two together. It's more or less, and why I feel that spirit led me to do the study group that I started, when you watch this, on the 31st of July. And we're doing it like, every week or whatever. with the book Conversations with God, why I felt so compelled to do that now. I didn't know why, but I know now with these August soul sessions is because it's fusing that disconnect, right? Like everything is mirroring each other. You know what I'm saying? So if you disconnect from the creator, right? The only thing that's left is death if you're disconnecting from life, right? But the Six of Wands in the reverse is speaking to one's self concept, right? It's not being confident in yourself. It's thinking I'm not good enough. And it's not having that courage to even fathom the idea that you could have more than you've had. But all of these swords in your back are a testament to the fact that you do deserve better. You are supposed to have better, and you've been playing it small, right? So this is almost like I'm seeing this like a detox kind of energy to get us back to what the root of the issue really is here, right? So with this Four of Swords, this is more or less like an inaction kind of energy. And I feel up until the 15th, this is a little bit of sitting with the self, right? It's kind of like rehab, a proverbial rehab, if you will, because like any sense of restlessness that you guys have had, insomnia, or like anxiety, all of that is symptoms of the deeper problem. And what's the deeper problem? We're out of alignment, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing this as like, child, I can't wait to get to the extended. This is literally the foretelling of like, God, it's almost like cracking chrysalis in a sense to me. It's like if you think about the caterpillar that goes into chrysalis and you're in darkness, it's tight. You don't know what's happening. And it's like something is telling you to keep pushing, but it's like you're scared because you don't know what's going on. I don't even know how I got here in the first place. It's like that's like when I talk about the bull rage, dude, that's like really and thank you guys for, because I probably shouldn't promote for anybody to, China shop. I don't want y'all reaching out or nothing, but that's a more prettier way to put it. It's like that's that tension, but it's like when you bust out, like when you reach that fever pitch, in comes the butterfly. But this is just a necessary part of the process. You feel what I'm saying? So it's almost like you're being covered in this first 2 weeks of the month. You feel what I'm saying? Because there's a resolution that one needs to come to and a truth that needs to be faced in reference to everything one has been through. And the other thing they're telling me to say with this Four of Swords in the reverse is like burnout. And it's like, and not saying like, oh, you're burned out, but it's just literally the fact of why do we burn out? And that's when you're overcompensating. And why are you overcompensating? And it's because you're off kilter. You're not in alignment. So it's like if this was like a 50-50 deal and spirit is handling 50% of things and you're handling the other 50%, like my granny used to say, the Lord helps those that help themselves. You know what I'm saying? If this was a 50-50 deal, if we're sitting in this death energy, that means we've cut off that other 50%. So now in order to get to some sentiment of balance, you have to overcompensate, which means you're overworking yourself. And then the thing that my guides are telling me specifically in reference to the Six of Wands in the reverse, it's like, that's why you be doing so much. And child, I did a whole like lecture about this. I think it was Capricorn. And I was talking about high functioning, low self-esteem, which is one of the things I've been researching in, my own therapeutic practice and stuff, because I just started to see a pattern. It's like overcompensating, trying to prove yourself. And it's like why you're trying to prove yourself is because you're coming from a foundation of a belief that you're not enough. The reason why you were putting up with stuff that was less than you deserve, or why you were thinking too small, right, is because of that self-concept. And the thing that I'm seeing with my Taurians is spirit is giving you the opportunity, and it's free will choice, like I said, with 4 coins, for you to be delivered from, holding yourself back in so many words. Because these 2 cards here are 4 of coins and this 5 of coins. These are very much one and the same. It's speaking to a lack mentality and poverty consciousness. And once again, going back to this mirroring effect of macro and micro, if I feel deep down within myself that I'm not good enough, that I'm not abundant, then what do you think that I'm going to see in my life, even if we're speaking specifically with money? Because energy is, money is just, an energy. You feel what I'm saying? So if you have a lack mentality or poverty consciousness, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve this. Not even saying that you're ruminating this in your conscious mind every day, but if that's the energy that you're sitting in, which is what I'm seeing with the Six of Wands, then of course your external world is going to reflect your inner world. But why is your external world reflecting your inner world? It's not because spirit wants to punish you. It's not because God hates you. It's not because you were dealt a bad hand in life. Is because they've all been signs, like neon flashing signs saying, hey, Taurus, we don't belong here, right? Like all of those things you've been through have been saying that. But just like I was saying in the beginning with this 10 of Swords, why we're looking at this coming into the 15th of the month is because it's misinterpreting the message. We get into Five of Coins because we think that life is happening to us and not for us. And that's how you get discouraged. And then now the cycle starts all over again because you're falling back into this. And child, this is so funny. I love this deck so much because it helps me teach people tarot. I adore it because they just showed me a flash of another card to give you the little solution here. Because we about to go on over to this extended chart because this mother sucker is long. You hear me? But I know my Taurus people be liking to listen. Let me see here. ¿Dónde está? Where is the tag man? Stop being a little jerk. Just give it to me. I don't mean to talk about you like that, deck. I apologize. We done been through so much together. I don't even want to treat you like that. Here it is. Hallelujah. Every time I see this, I always think about the read that I did about the zombie apocalypse. That's from my OGs. Anyway, so this is the card that my guide showed me. This is more or less the solution to this situation. This is what the place that spirit is trying to get you to. You feel what I'm saying, right? Being in this poverty consciousness, for some of you, this could be in an external sense in 3D where we're really talking about financial issues manifesting, or it's just like I said, that mindset of not feeling enough. The solution to said problem is this, right? Because, of course, it's the after tarot. It's based on the Rider-Waite, and the Rider-Waite, you got to live people out in the cold. The thing I always tell people, I study medieval tarot, y'all. I'm such a nerd. Don't judge me. So the thing with this is, the understanding with this card is the fact that in medieval times, right, Catholic churches used to be open 24 hours a day. Like you could go into the church at any time. You know what I'm saying? So the question becomes, if it's snowing outside and you cripple, right? Like you out there crip walking, you know what I'm saying? Why are you outside this goddamn church when you know good and damn well that the doors is open? Like, what are you doing? So that's a self-imposed situation, right? I like the Light Seers Tarot because the Light Seers Tarot interpretation of the Five of Coins is quite intriguing because it's a young lady who's sitting in front of a door and the key is right there, but she's just sitting up here all sad and stuff. So the thing is that the solution is already with you, right? Because that's general knowledge. It's general knowledge that Catholic churches were open 24 hours a day. So to be out in the cold is self-imposed. Now in the after tarot, they just totally didn't goddamn gave up, child. They ain't even walking no more. They just like, we just gonna sit here. We just gonna lay here, just give up the ghost. We're gonna give it up. But homegirl was like, I be damn. She ain't even got no shoes on, child. She said, I be damn. Homegirl went up in there and got her little storehouse and she going on about a damn business. You feel what I'm saying? So this is all about self-empowerment. It's the fact that you have the power to get yourself out of any situation that it is that you're in. And I often tell many people that I mentor and I coach and I work with, no one is coming to save you. No one. No one's going to rescue you from your life, right? No one can love you out of your pain. You feel what I'm saying? You can't read, enough books that are just ultimately going to change the course of your life, right? It's actual work that needs to be done. I mean, even me, child, you can listen to me all day long. It don't make no damn difference if you never practically apply any of the stuff. Like, changes have to be made. And I'm saying this from a person who's done those things. You know what I'm saying? Compared to who I used to be, child. Oh, Lord Jesus in heaven. You know, so it's doable. But you have to come to this point, dog, because I came to that point. This is that transformation point. Like, this is, and I'm not even going to say transformation. We're going to use a big old esoteric word, child. This is the transmutation point. This is 0.0 of personal alchemy. Like, this is when you become an entirely different being. You feel what I'm saying? Like DNA shifting and things of the sort. This is when you completely transmute what it is that you were, all that burns off, and what you're left with. You know what I'm saying? It's that good old pure gold, AKA higher consciousness, Christ consciousness, the, golden Buddha within, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? But that's the process that you guys are going through. That's why it's been so fucking painstaking, Taurus. Because you're being pushed to the ends of yourself, but the self that you're being pushed to the end of was never you in the first place. It's bringing out that warrior and that fight in you. And you have to have that, dog. Like, to survive in this world, to walk this spiritual path, to be what I call woke. In order to do that, you have to have this fire in your chest, which is why in all those, pictures of like saints and stuff, you see like they heart on fire. You got to operate from that fucking place, dog. Like that's your ground zero, because even though you're still subject to human experience, you're always going to bounce back, but you have a resilience in you that is unfathomable for some people. And the whole reason why you haven't seen what it is that you've desired to see up to this point, right, is because what's for you is for you, higher self you, higher consciousness you, like sensory consciousness you. That's not, their storehouse of blessings. You know what I'm saying? Because if it were to be given at a time before you go through this process, it would be squandered. And now we're right back, where we started. You feel what I'm saying? So overall, Taurus, this is an interesting soul session. I mean, this is the type of time that I'm on, child. Like, I love talking about things like this. You feel what I'm saying? But I mean, overall, it's hella good. You know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty sure that who this is for, who resonates with this, you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. Because, child, if I was on the other side of the desk, and I came across a reading like this on YouTube, ooh, child, I'd have been like, where do I find this person? I need to know more about these esoterical things. But anywho, that has been your soul session for August, Taurus. Well, the 1st to the 15th of August, I'm going over to my network, Vimeo, Patreon, YouTube members, all the places that I am, to do you guys extended, where we're going to look at the latter part of the month. So if you're about that life, follow me on over there. But if not, I still love your freaking face. And I'll see you guys sooner than later, my friends. I'm doing this whole kiss thing at the end. I know it's lame as hell, but so am I. Kiss, bitch.